Hello and welcome to RMU Focus. I'm Austin Bechtold.
And I'm John Hanna. Happy Valentine's Day, Austin.
Happy Valentine's Day, John. You have anything special planned for today?
No.
And you know what? I don't either. But this week at RMU, lots of exciting things were going on. Some exciting events took place on campus. First up, Don't Dress for Dinner kicked off their weekend of shows at the Massey Theater Thursday night. The play will continue this weekend. Also, the Tabletop Club held a board game free play event at the Yorktown Lounge Thursday night. And last Sunday, the Nonprofit Leadership Association hosted an Animal Friends mandatory orientation for volunteers interested in handling animals. For more events that have taken place on campus, and for those upcoming as well, check out the RMU Revolution page for more details.
And as you mentioned, today is Valentine's Day, obviously. Neither of us have anything going on, but
nothing
I know a
special.
lot of people around have lots of stuff going on. But speaking of Don't Dress for Dinner, our own Kaylee Whitlash last week sat down with the director, Michael Misko, just to talk about the show and everything. So let's just take a look at some of that.
Man, yes, I can try. Don't Dress for Dinner is, it's hysterical. It's about, stay with me on this.
Okay.
A man and a husband and wife, and she's going away to see her mother for the weekend. But he's got his girlfriend coming to stay because his wife is gone for the weekend. But he's also got his best friend coming to stay as an alibi. But then when the wife finds out that the best friend is coming to stay, she decides to stay because we find out that she is having a secret affair with the best friend. So then she decides to stay, and the girlfriend comes in, and then there's this whole thing with a cook who gets mistaken for the girlfriend. It's a bunch of mistaken identity, a girlfriend who plays a cook, and a cook who ends up playing a girlfriend, and then the boyfriend is in love with the wife, who is not in love with the husband, who is actually in love with the girlfriend, and then they have to, the best friend and the husband have to improvise at breakneck speed to figure out how the heck to get out of the situation.
And Don't Dress for Dinner runs today and Saturday from 7:30 p.m. and Sunday at 2 p.m. in RMU's Massey Theater. Student tickets can be purchased for $5 at the Student Life Office during the presale, and additional tickets can be purchased for $10 at the door or reserved at rmu.edu/theater. And now we're going to send it over to Austin Bechtold, who's with Richard Zapp and Travis Kruger from the RMU eSports team. What do you have for us, Austin?
Thank you, John. As you mentioned, I got Richard Zapp and Travis Kruger from eSports. So, guys, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely,
And
our pleasure.
Could you just tell me a little bit about yourself?
Travis?
Yeah, so I'm the captain of the competitive Call of Duty team here on campus. Going to be graduating here in the spring, so trying to finish out strong here in the last semester.
Richard?
My name is Richard Zapp. I'm the head coach of esports here at Robert Morris University. I've been here since September of this year. It's been an amazing opportunity being able to oversee almost a dozen different esports teams that we have now and growing the program since where it's been in the last year.
So when did this eSports program start and begin?
Oh, that's a long answer. The short answer is it really started with a competitive Overwatch club that the campus had, 3-4 years ago. And slowly but surely they kind of said, well, what if we expanded to other games? That became an informal esports club. And from there, after seeing the size of it, Robert Morris University decided that they really wanted to take competitive gaming to the varsity level. So about a year ago, that process started of creating our competitive space. We have a full lab that has 10 computers up in the rec center, and that has, again, blossomed into having almost a dozen different games right now. Looking forward to hosting events in inter-school. We're already competing with schools across the nation, and it's only going to go up from here.
So how did you become the leader in the leader and the coach of the program?
No, it's been a fantastic opportunity. My background is in higher education. I have my master's from Cypriot Rock University. From there, I've been gaming competitively for 15, almost 20 years now. Most of that in the trading card competitive space. As far as coaching itself, a couple years ago, I started collaborating with a friend, Matt. He had made this YouTube channel, this content creation channel, and after needing some help with the program kind of growing, I came on board as kind of an administrative lead, and since then we grew the community to have about a half a dozen different content creators, and we provide coaching and mentorship on that front, and that experience kind of propelled me all the way up to where we are now here at Robert Morris.
So Travis, let me ask you, how did you join the team, and how did you be able to, learn the information that you got to learn to be able to compete?
Yeah, so joining the team was was more of a process of kind of, working with Richard and kind of creating it. It was a lot of interest on campus, and people kind of knew I was in the competitive scene for a while. I've been playing competitive Call of Duty for 6 years, and just the interest was there. And then the process was, pretty streamlined too, and pretty simple of making it happen. So we compete in the competitive Call of Duty League, the CCL. So, especially a school like Robert Morris, we get put on the main stage against schools like Ohio State. We just ended up beating Iowa last night, so playing schools in the Big Ten. Big wins for RMU. So the process is, it's pretty simple for students to get involved and, give it a chance.
So what types of games, I know you mentioned Call of Duty, what other games do you guys compete in?
So there's a variety, kind of in Travis's lane. There's Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Rainbow Six Siege, but games vary from League of Legends to Rocket League to Smash Brothers to Hearthstone. We're looking at getting Halo off the ground, NHL, Mortal Kombat. We have David Roebuck, who is, I think, the second or third nationally ranked person in NHL. And just, we have a lot of talent here at Robert Morris, and a variety of games, a variety of expertise behind that.
So you mentioned the talent that is here at RMU. What type of strategies do you guys use to be able to, come out with the ultimate advantage and be able to win?
Yeah, I think that depends on game almost. I know for, Call of Duty, it's, you have to play to your strengths. You kind of have to know the guys you have on your team. So we're very in your face, but I mean, it is a lot of, watching, videos with teams, watching, your past games, watching your matches, kind of going back and looking at the film and, just what works for you guys. Whether you think eSport athletes are, athletes or not, we do put in the time with the film as well. We work on the same strategies, and just kind of figuring out what works for you.
Is it more like hardcore intensity when you're playing, or is it more friendly?
Again, it kind of varies on the scene. Yes. So we're very intense and kind of with it, but again, if you're not having fun, why are you doing it? So at the end of the day, you're playing video games, and you have the opportunity to represent your school while playing video games. It's fun at the end of the day. So, kind of a little bit of both, I'd say.
Yeah, and one of the things I pride our teams in doing is we really promote inclusion. Anyone that's interested in playing to the teams, there's a home for them, whether that's fielding a second or a third team or creating substitutes for the teams that we have, because depending on the game, it could be a single-person event. Something like what Travis plays is 5-on-5, so there's a lot of opportunities and flexibility. But really, anyone that wants to get engaged has the opportunity to do so.
So let me ask you, Richard, how do you think the program could continue to grow with your leadership?
Our goals we want Robert Morris University to be the central hub for everything esports. Right now, we are the only school in Western Pennsylvania with a formal program. We're the only one offering scholarships to students in incoming years. It's a huge opportunity that we have. We're really working on connecting with as many high schools as we can and how many smaller universities that we can. So right now we have a series called RMU Rivals, where we have other high schools and colleges that they come and visit our site, they get to check out our equipment, and they get to compete with their teams. So we had CCAC stop by a couple weeks ago. We're looking forward to Westinghouse Charter School coming by in the week to follow. A lot of different schools that we're building those relationships with, and we hope that creates a pipeline to get students here in the years to follow.
That's awesome. So how can people tune into your competitions, and how can interested RMU students join your team?
Absolutely. So if they are interested in connecting, if they're already a student, getting onto Revolution and finding the eSports Club, Jonathan Russell is the president there, but he can get you connected to some of those resources. We have a Discord channel. Discord is almost kind of like Slack or Skype. It's a forum-like network that we connect through and communicate through. We have our Twitch channel, RMU Colonials. We have our website on RMU Club Sports, and that's the best way to get updates on what's going on in our world.
Well, guys, I want to thank you for joining me. Richard, thank you very much. Travis.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys, and it's definitely an organization that you got to check out. These guys are doing great work. Let's toss it back over to John Hanna. John, what do you have for us?
Thank you, Austin, and thank you, Travis and Richard. And for more information on anything RMU, whether it's news, arts, and entertainment, head over to rmucentralmedia.com, as well as follow RMU Central Media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. But for sports, check out the new Colonial Sports Network, also on Twitter and Instagram, colonialsportsnetwork.com. We're going to have more video content there. Austin Bechtold is actually doing a weekend preview that he worked on earlier today. And coming up after the break, I'm going to be sitting down with Dr. Rika Carlson from the engineering school. Stay tuned here on RMU Focus.
I was physically at school, but my mind wasn't at school. I had problems at home. That's when I met our niece. She started helping me a little bit, like, Nia, I don't know what you're doing, but your future is more important. She's my strength. It takes a village to help somebody get their diploma. It changes your whole life.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be blood. Next Thursday?
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day.
I have no time for this.
So,
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
What to expect when you're expecting
Like here.
a teenager.
Today, I'm going to show you how to team-proof your home. First step, hide the car keys. Preferably somewhere they would never look. Challenges will come up. Be ready for them. Hi, honey.
Ready for the... Mom, you don't use mannequins in the mannequin challenge.
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Home fire drills give your family a plan of action. In a home fire, you may have less than 2 minutes to get out. So when you drill, show everyone 2 ways out of the house, pick a safe meeting spot, and get there in under 2 minutes. Then practice home fire drills at least twice a year. You can even make them fun. So everyone knows the sound and exactly what to do when they hear a smoke alarm. Go to ready.gov/fire drill and learn how to prepare your family for home fires.
Welcome back to RMU Focus. Here now in studio is Dr. Carlson sitting down with John Hanna. John, what do you got for us?
Thank you, Dr. Carlson. So you're the director of SEMS and the associate professor of mechanical and biomedical engineering. There's been some improvements to John Jay over the past couple years, really. What are some of the key improvements in the building?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have improvements that have been made over the past couple of years, but also we have some huge renovations that are coming up in the future and that we really have to look forward to in the next year. So right now we have a lot of new lab spaces that are going to be built within the next year, engineering lab spaces, also new classrooms as well. And we'll also have a design innovation suite, which will be really awesome, where students can take new ideas and really develop them and get help from faculty members as well.
What are some of the new ideas that you've seen come through, really your office or just in general?
Yeah, so we have a lot of research projects that go on campus, and we really encourage students to get involved with research. So, for example, one project that we're doing, we work with the orthotics and prosthetics company, and we actually develop additive manufacturing techniques for developing new prosthetic sockets. And so we work with that company. They use a traditional method for making custom prosthetic devices, and now we're trying to use 3D printing techniques to make those devices for them.
What sort of stuff have you done in your past that really gets you ready for this? Like, what has your education been to help you with the prosthetics and the 3D printing and all that?
Yeah, so it's been an amazing experience just learning engineering. I didn't know that was something I wanted to do when I was younger, so as I got to college, I went in undecided and then discovered that engineering is a field where you can really go out and solve problems, and you can work with a lot of people and figure out ways to meet their needs. And so through this process, I've done a lot of work with understanding traumatic brain injury, for example, so really on the medical side of things. So my background's both mechanical and biomedical engineering, so I really like the idea of applying engineering to solving problems in medicine.
And then going off that biomedical, you're part of the injury biomechanics lab with Dr. Wanju. What sort of research and just how did that get started?
Yeah, so both of us, we do research in the area of injury biomechanics. He focused more on orthopedic end of things, so designing orthopedic implants, understanding biomechanics of human motion. And on my side, I really study traumatic brain injury, so there's definitely a lot of interest with studying concussive injury. And so we can really bring engineering concepts to understand what happens inside the brain. So if you think about when a person gets a concussion, they have an impact to the head, so that's a force to the head. And so we take those engineering concepts of understanding mechanics and forces, and then also concepts from biology. We've developed models of the brain so that we can really see what's happening inside of it, so we can understand this injury, and then we can develop ways to prevent injury as well.
And going sort of off that in the research, Pittsburgh is a blooming city with, you have Pitt for medical and you have Carnegie Mellon for engineering. Does Robert Morris work with them in any sort of capacity?
Absolutely. So I work with a bunch of collaborators at the University of Pittsburgh and also Carnegie Mellon University. And so really to solve these challenging problems, you need expertise from a number of different areas. So we all bring our own areas of expertise. And so the people I work with at the University of Pittsburgh, they do a lot of imaging. So they have really awesome techniques for looking at inside the brain and looking at the structural information. So we take that information, combine that with their computational models, then we can really develop an understanding of what happens in the brain.
We have some prospective students here from Northgate. Just why should they choose Robert Morris over, a school like a Pitt or a Carnegie Mellon?
Yeah, there's so many really great engineering programs out there. I think RMU, we really have a small school feel, right? So you get that personalized attention, and so you work one-on-one with your instructors, which is pretty different from some of the other schools. So, I went to a larger institution for my undergrad, and so you don't see that as much unless you go out of your way to really make those contacts with professors. But here, you get to know your professors, really get to know the other students, and you have that sense of community, which is really great, I think, at our institution. Also in our classes, we try to do a lot of hands-on projects. So we really integrate project-based learning with everything else that they do in the classroom. So they're really in there getting hands-on experience, developing different prototypes and actually bringing their projects to life instead of just learning theory on the board.
What's some of those hands-on projects that you have planned for this semester?
For this semester, so one of the projects I do in one of my classes, which is called Biomedical Engineering Principles, we work at the nursing school and nursing educators to develop a low-cost vein finder device. And so the students actually develop this device just from start to finish. They create a functional prototype. They make the circuits for the device. They use some Raspberry Pis. They actually 3D print all the components for the device and can come up with any design that they want so that it's ergonomic. It could be hands-free. Whatever concept they come up with, they can actually create.
And then what's your favorite part about being in this field and teaching here?
I just enjoy working with all the students that we have here. They're all really great. It's great to see as they develop their passion throughout their education. So oftentimes they come in and not quite sure what they want to do in the future. And so when they find that passion, and I can help them develop that, I think that's really awesome. And then also to see them once they graduate too and see all the great things they're doing.
And you mentioned graduation. What have some of the students at Robert Morris gone on to do? Can you give me any specific examples?
Yeah. So in my field, some of the students go on to work for medical device companies. We also have students who have gone into leadership programs. So one student who's right now traveling around the world and doing rotations to different countries. And so they're getting really great experiences. We also have students who go on and do research and go on and get their master's or their PhD degree as well.
Do you teach the master's program here, or?
I do not. I focus mainly on the undergraduate program, but we do have engineering instructors that teach at both levels.
And then one last question. Before you came here, I know I talked about education, but is this your first teaching job?
This is my first teaching job, yeah, my first experience with teaching. I did research mainly before coming to RMU, but it's been a great experience, yeah.
Well, thank you, Dr. Carlson.
Yeah, absolutely.
And coming up after the break, Nick Hederick and the rest of the Where's the New news crew sat down with a member of a local musician, and Mackenzie Nicole. Stay tuned here on RMU Focus.
I was physically at school, but my mind wasn't at school. I had problems at home. That's when I met our niece. She started helping me a little bit, like, Nia, I don't know what you're doing, but your future is more important. She's my strength. It takes a village to help somebody get their diploma. It changes your whole life.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be blood. Next Thursday?
Seriously?
Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day.
I have no time for this.
So.
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
What to expect when you're expecting.
Like here?
A teenager.
Today, I'm going to show you how to team-proof your home. First step, hide the car keys. Preferably somewhere they would never look. Challenges will come up. Be ready for them. Hi, honey.
Ready for the... Mom, you don't use mannequins in the mannequin challenge.
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Home fire drills give your family a plan of action. In a home fire, you may have less than 2 minutes to get out. So when you drill, show everyone 2 ways out of the house, pick a safe meeting spot, and get there in under 2 minutes. Then practice home fire drills at least twice a year. You can even make them fun. So everyone knows the sound and exactly what to do when they hear a smoke alarm. Go to ready.gov/fire drill and learn how to prepare your family for home fires.
Welcome back to RMU Focus. Now, last week, Nick Hederick of Where's the News mentioned he had an interview with Mackenzie Nicole, who recently released her new album overnight, Mystic. And here's just a preview of what happened on Where's the News yesterday.
I also read on your Spotify that you are able to quote The Shining at almost any moment. So naturally, we have to put you on the spot here. Can you give us your top 3 favorite quotes from The Shining?
So, okay, when it comes to favorites for me, I'm probably going to sound very stereotypical, but here's why. Of course, the best quote, I think, in the entire movie, it's not the one you're thinking of, is all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. I love that moment in the film. It is like the peak of the movie. I think inarguably, more so than the axe through the door, here's Johnny scene, you know what I mean? Like, everyone loves that. But the moment in the movie where you realize the depth of insanity that Jack Torrance has descended to is when Wendy picks up the papers. And you have that, like, incredible, beautiful Shelley Duvall moment where she's flipping out as she's, like, you know, thumbing through them, and every single one is just different iterations of all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. It's beautiful. That is a beautiful scene. So that's my number 1.
Great show, Where's the News? And I'm looking forward to listening to that album, and I haven't quite listened to Mystic yet, but
Yeah,
I'm sure
either,
too soon.
But Nick Hederick, John Boyd, and Garrett Roberts do a phenomenal job.
They do. I know I mentioned I want to be on it, but, you know, they also did an interview with, you know, the owner of several of the Big Shot Bob's Wings locations.
Yeah, and the news is they could be having their own wing.
I heard that. I'm looking forward to it. I love Big Shot Bob's.
I want to eat the Where's the News wing.
Yes.
I want to know what that's going to taste like.
But coming up at RMU next week, there's a lot of stuff going on. Next Tuesday, there's Cards for Humanities in the Salem lobby, hosted by the Marshall Hall CAs. They're decorating Valentine's Day cards for patients at the West Hills Rehab Center while enjoying some heart-shaped goodies and playing Cards Against Humanity, obviously. There's also, you know, as we mentioned early on, there is Don't Dress for Dinner happening all this weekend, 7:30 today, tomorrow, 2:30 on Sunday. Next weekend is actually Siblings Weekend. My brother, unfortunately, can't make it. Do you have any siblings?
I do. I have 2 younger sisters that are sophomores at good old Baldwin High School. They probably will not be making the trip up. I'll probably make the trip back, and I'll see them for my own Siblings Weekend, I guess.
And next Wednesday, up near the Res Life office, Thrive and the Office of Residence Life actually is hosting Condoms, Consent, and Chicken Nuggets for the 2nd consecutive week. Stop by and enjoy some chicken nuggets while learning safe sex. Talk to representatives, teen outreach, you know, Planned Parenthood, Title IX. Just great way just to, you know, get some chicken nuggets, learn about keeping yourself safe. And then also next Tuesday, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., Shark Tank, hosted by the Student Government Association. I know a lot of, you know, places around campus, a lot of clubs are bringing in their great ideas, supposedly.
I'm sure they have some good ideas.
Probably pitching them to the SGA. But what is your place to be, Austin?
Well, John, my place to be this weekend is the men's and women's basketball doubleheader on Saturday versus Fairleigh Dickinson. Men's basketball tips off first at 1 p.m. and is coming off of a blowout win over Mount St. Mary's on Thursday. Women's basketball, on the other hand, is in control of the top spot in the NEC standings and are also celebrating senior night. I sat down with star forward Nneka Zibo on CSC Thursday night, so you should definitely go ahead and check out last night's Colonial Sports Center to see more on both teams. It's going to be 2 great matchups that the Colonials.
The question is, if I'm not able to go to the games, where can I get these recaps? Where can I find out what happened here?
Well, John, you could go to the new Colonial Sports Network website, and it's a great place that you could find all your RMU sports, just single-handedly focusing on RMU sports. Like you mentioned, I did the weekend preview video for it that'll be up shortly, and definitely worthy of checking out. Lots of editors put a lot of hard work into it.
Yes, we do. I know. I'm one of them.
You are one
But
of them.
my place to be is actually in the city, and it's actually happening technically right now, but it's happening all throughout the weekend. It's the Pittsburgh Auto Show down at the David L. Lawrence Convention Center in the city. 10 to 10 today, 10 to 10 tomorrow, 10 to 6 on Sunday, and 10 to 6 on Monday. Monday's actually half price, believe it or not. But there's some, I love cars, and there's some huge cars here. There's some, 2018 Porsche 911 GT2 RS. Actually, the GT40 that has been in the movie Ford v Ferrari. You know what else is going to be there tomorrow?
What else is going to be there, John?
The best car ever.
What's that?
The Peanut Mobile.
The Peanut Mobile. I thought Mr. Peanut was gone.
I think he is. I really don't know what the meaning. I blame Wesley Snipes. That's all I can say.
That Super Bowl commercial sure was something.
Yes. But I mentioned the live audience earlier today, and we actually have them in the studio right now. Do you have any questions for us about anything RMU related?
Live audience, any questions for us? Step up to the mic and ask away.
All right, so how fast do you get used to seeing Romo literally everywhere?
I'd say,
That's an interesting question.
If you go to enough sporting events, I think it's pretty soon because you see him everywhere. You actually see him around campus as well.
Just walking around?
Yeah, well, not walking around, but if you're out and about. I actually went to a skate with mascots out in Shenley Park earlier this month, actually, and Romo was there along with you had Iceberg and a bunch of other Pittsburgh area mascots. So you see his face every time you walk by Romo's Cafe as well. So it's pretty, just. You get used to him pretty quick.
Yeah, you see him around sporting events, different type of events, bigger events that are going on around campus. Pretty cool mascot we got here at RMU.
And another question?
All right. So what are your guys' favorite part of RMU's campus life or just the general time here?
I'd have to,
do you want to go first,
yeah,
John?
I love, participating in RMU-TV. Obviously, I work 4 of the 5. Technically 5 of the 6 shows. No, 4 of the 5. 5 of the.
You work a lot of shows.
Yes, I work
that's the
everything
point.
but one show, I should say. So that I've made some great friends either through Century Media, and I've made some great friends, just overall doing a whole bunch of just on-campus events. I take part in various clubs and it's a great place just to meet friends and everything.
Yeah, and with Century Media, it is an understatement. You are always busy, literally always.
Yes, I don't think there's a minute I'm not either in this newsroom or, out covering something or out at a club.
You don't get much sleep, but, it really is worth it. I'm on 3 TV shows, write a lot of articles, do a lot of video content. Definitely worth it, and it's just a great part of the organization that we have here, and as you can see in the studio, just phenomenal setup that we have here. We got one more question.
So why, out of the hundreds of colleges that exist on this earth, should I specifically, as a bright-eyed and bushy-tailed young student, go to RMU?
Because I think it's something that Dr. Carlson talked about earlier. You really get that one-on-one connection with the teachers. I don't think I've had a teacher yet that didn't know my name by the first week. I know I applied to Penn State, and it is just, if I was there, they wouldn't know my name by the first month probably. So I think it's really that one-on-one connection.
Yeah, I think it's great going here, at least for me in terms of Century. I hopped on and started doing TV, radio, news day one. As soon as you walk onto campus, they throw you into the fire and say, hey, we're going to teach you, you're going to learn
involvement's
everything.
Huge.
It's huge.
Literally do, if you join, a sorority or fraternity, you can be involved there right away.
Like John said, the connections that you make are so valuable. My academic advisor, Dr. Moretti, who oversees a lot of this, phenomenal dude, phenomenal
Dr.
person.
Pinson is great as well.
Right. They just want to have personal connections with you. They want to know who you are, and they want to help you. They genuinely care so much, unlike a lot of other schools that I've seen.
Yeah, and I just think that it's just a great community in general. Everyone's so supportive of each other, and I just think that it's really the perfect college for
really is.
anyone who wants to
But
really
John,
expand out in the world.
that does it for another
Yes, it
edition
does.
of RMU Focus. For everyone upstairs and in the studio, I'm Austin Bechtold.
And I'm John Hanna.
You
Sorry
are
about
John Hanna. We will see you next week. Have a great weekend, everybody.
And happy Valentine's Day, of course.
Yep.